In this video, I want to review one of my favorite research tools, and that's TradeMiner Pro. And of course, the problem that this solves is it helps us identify the right stock to trade at the right time. And the wonderful thing about TradeMiner Pro is that it has data that streams into it, and we can look back at the past performance immediately on the screen and see how well we're doing for the month. And so we can come in here, and the first thing I want to do is I want to just take you through, and I'm going to do a scan of the stock market. Now, of course, we can do this on futures and forex as well, and I've got the futures version already done in the background. I'm going to jump over to that one if you're interested in futures. Let's do the scan on the stock market version first. We're going to come in here, and I'm just going to read this. You'll notice we got tabs across the top, and it just says Step 1, find and select high probability trading opportunities for your portfolio. And we're going to search for trends in the month of February. It's February right now. So we're going to find trends that have won at least 90% of the time, showing both longs and short positions. List trends that last at least 10 trading days, but no more than 100 trading days. Find at least 10 years of history. So 10 years, it can be longer than 10 years, but it's got to be at least 10 years. And then I've removed a couple of filters in here, same symbol duplicate start dates and the same symbol overlapping trade dates. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit search now. Now I'll let it run. It just takes a couple of minutes here, and I'm going to have it search down through. I've got it set to search just basically through the S&P 500. Okay, there's our list, and as you can see, we have our results, and the results come up in kind of a spreadsheet looking table, and you can see that they're listed down here across horizontally. And so if we look at the first one, we see that it's got a score of 5. It's bullish. The name of the company is iShares US Medical Devices, and the symbol is IHI. Now, between February 3rd and June 18th, 100% of the time over the last 13 years, this particular stock has returned 8% on average. Okay, on 100 shares, that would have been about $900 over that time period. So the most important thing to me to look at is the percent winning ratio and the number of years. So this is 100% winning ratio over the last 13 years. So you can see between these two dates, February 3rd and June 18th, over the last 13 years, this particular stock has returned an 8% return on our investment, or about $900 on every 100 shares. And so that's how we're going to do this. Now I'm going to go through and pick some of these out. I want to do them by the dates and by the scores. Now we have a score here, as you can see. We have greens, yellows, and reds. Now everything in this list qualifies underneath this scan that we did up here on top. Now we can increase the time frame. We can decrease the amount of time. I've got 100 days in here. We can, reduce that down to 30 days, 60 days, whatever we want, and we can run more scans. We can put this up to 100% if we would like. We can put it down to lower, 75% if we'd like. But just under this particular set of criteria, everything in this list fits that criteria, and then we come through and score it with a proprietary score, where we come through and we kind of analyze it and say which ones make the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the least amount of risk, and those are the ones that end up with our green score. Now the highest score you can get is a 5, so let's just sort by score. Now you can sort just by clicking the header, and we're going to click the header and bring all the greens to the top. So let's just, for fun, let's just come in here, and we're just going to grab all the greens, and I'm going to hold down the shift key and select all the green ones in here, and we're just going to move those. I'm going to add those to step 2, as you can see, which is our neural network, and I'm just going to jump that over here to the neural network, and we add that in, and you can see they're all showing up over here in the neural network, and it's populating the data right now. As you can see, the blue columns, or the columns with blue text, are live data as it's come streaming in and telling us the current profit based on the buy and the sell as recommended on these particular dates. Now the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to go through and sort by date. So we're going to hit this header, and as you can see, that puts them in chronological order. Now you can see all the ones that have been filled. So again, starting up here at the top, we've got IHC, iShares. And it is coming in currently right now. It's up 2.5%, or $679 on 100 shares. And as we go down through the list, you can see the dates, February 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. And that's the nice thing about this, is we can look at our historical prices and see how we're doing as we're moving forward through time. And you can see in here we got every single one of, there's a loser right there. We got one loser, Merck and Company, between February 7th and June 23rd, 90% of the time over the last 10 years. Has returned a 9% profit on 100 shares, and it's down $79 right now. All the rest of them are profitable, as you can see in here. We got a list of profitable ones, and this is the ones that we got coming up, February 11th. And so these are the stocks that we're going to start looking at. We want to start looking at Cooper, Novo Nordic, Legrand Pharmaceutical, AstraZeneca, Edward Life Sciences, LHC Group, iShares Global Healthcare, And once again, these are stocks that we're going to be looking at as the dates come through and looking at opportunities to take either a long or a short position. Now, we've got in here, we told the scan to do, when we come back here, we told the scan to do both longs and shorts. If we come back over here, you'll notice that bullish, 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 bullish. They're all bullish. We got a bearish one in here. Here's a bearish one. And it's saying that the market has a tendency to fall 90% of the time during this time frame. So we've got one bearish. Everything else in there is bullish. And so these are the stocks that we're going to be looking at. Now, let's come ahead and grab all these. I'm just going to, as an example, I'm going to grab all of these. Okay, we're going to grab every single one of these. And it's interesting that we notice that the sector is all healthcare. If I come into the settings, I've set the healthcare as the industry that we're going to scan. So just for fun, as an exercise, I want to come in here and I'm going to grab all of these and I'm going to bring them down here. I'm going to bring that over here, add to the pick list, and we're going to put them over into the portfolio pick list. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time picking out individual specific stocks out of here. We've got the entire list that are all green. I'm just going to, for fun, just for example sake, so I'm going to grab them all and move them all to the portfolio, and I'm going to shrink this pick list up and increase the portfolio view. And now we can see in here that so far this month, if we would have just put 100 shares on every single one of these stocks all the way down, so far we'd be up $7,349 in this particular example. We've got more shares coming, more opportunities. So between February 11th and July 2nd, 92% of the time over the last 12 years, Edwards Life Sciences has increased in value. And so coming February 11th, which is today, we've got a number of stocks that we want to be looking at. These are stocks that we want to be looking at getting into and taking long positions on. Come the 12th, we'll be looking at these here. These are the stocks that are interesting to us on February 12th, and then of course the 13th, we got a number here. Now it's not like we're going to go through and we're going to select every single one of these and move them all over. We want to go down, we want to go through and look at each one of the charts and decide which ones of these we want to pick and get into, and use our technical analysis, set up some triggers for entry, and of course let the markets run, cut our losers short, let our winners run. Okay, now if we want to come in and take a quick look at some of these, now we don't have to go through and pull up our every single one of these opportunities in our trading platform if we don't want to. We can just double click on one of the entries here and we can pull up a quick chart that we can just take a look at and see what's going on in the market and see if it's something that we're interested in. Now this market's had a pullback, it's starting to rally, it looks like it's coming into a small flag formation, which are patterns that we love to trade. So this is something we're probably going to be interested in at least looking at and seeing if there's not an opportunity for us to put some shares in there or possibly some options. All right, so we can come down, we can look at another one, double click on this one, and oh, this one's already taken off. It's getting ready to run. It's got a nice big gap. We call these gap and goes, or, gap and run. You get a gap, and oftentimes you look for the thing to continue to run in the direction of the gap. So we come down, we can look at another one here. This is one that's consolidating back, pulling back against our position, Eli Lilly, and then we'd look for an opportunity to take a long position around February 14th, and then this one looks to rally once again. Okay, now let's just jump over quick into the futures version, and you can see I've already got it pulled up here, and in the interest of time, this is the scan. I did the exact same thing as we did before, and we have all these that are turned into green. We're going to come over and take a look at the neural network. We've already pulled them over into the neural network and into the portfolio, out of the pick list and down into the portfolio. So you can see so far, we've only got two that are actually active at this point. Our next one is coming up is tomorrow. Actually, we've got one coming up today, February 11th, so the Japanese yen. This is based on quantity one contracts. We're up $92 and $400 respectively on silver and gasoline. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is Japanese yen, S&P, the mini Dow. We got heating oil coming up. We got crude oil. And then these are the markets that we'll be specifically spending our efforts and energy on, looking to see if there's not an opportunity to get in and take advantage of these markets. So that's just a quick way of using TradeMiner for both stocks and futures. And of course, you can do this as Forex as well. But these are my two favorite markets. I trade the currency markets, Forex. I trade it over here in the futures market. So as you can see, we got Japanese yen over here in the futures market, and that's a great place to trade your currencies as well. All right, guys, so that's just a quick way of identifying the right stock at the right time using TradeMiner.